Hello and welcome everybody to the stream. New campaign today, courtesy of DM Doomy here to my left hand side. So, what's with the music box?
Well, hello everyone and welcome to D&D Horror Stories. Today we're going to tell you a story about how everything went terribly.
That could actually be. We probably could do a stream or at least a podcast just on our collective experiences. We really could, but that's not what we're here for today.
Just
That's
browsing the RPG Horror Stories subreddit.
I mean, we start with our own stories first before we even go on to them ones.
yeah.
And hey, Sky.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes. Actually, yeah, I can probably say it because we haven't started yet. Thank you very much for the host, Guy, and good evening to you, sir. So, anyway, why don't you tell us about the...
you start just then, but it's me this time.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't my story. I mean, you can give me the script if you want to, and I can read the blurb, but...
Technically, it is your story as well. So...
Are we swapping DMs before the campaign's even started? What the hell's going on?
DM campaign.
There you
go.
Okay. Hey, quick thing, Doom, about the overlay. Mine still says Delamain Bramble.
Oh, that's me. Sorry, let me... Okay, I literally remembered everything else. There was a lot to... there was a lot to do.
I'm still playing Delamain. He's in this campaign now, too.
Oh god, he's having an existential crisis. He's going between worlds.
I mean,
which one is real? Which one is fantasy?
I'm playing his twin brother, Bellaman.
I mean, given Delamain's current state of affairs in Dragon Queen, he might actually prefer to be anywhere else than where he currently is.
Yes.
Yep.
There we go. I knew you'd forgotten to do something. There we go. That's fixed now. Oh, it's
I don't know. Does Delamain know the state of affairs in Dragon Queen?
I don't know what Delamain actually knows. He doesn't really tell anybody.
He was a bit, I don't know, indisposed last
Yes,
session.
indisposed is definitely a good way to describe his current mindset. Anyway, we're going off topic. Doom, use the box. What is it?
Okie dokie. So, hello everyone, and welcome to Melancholic Melody. So, a little bit of background. 13 years ago, the continent of Durska was founded by Gavin Durska. He led a human colony on a voyage across the sea from their homeland on the eastern side of the world, before making land on the shores of this new land. The colony steadily extended, but it wasn't until 7 generations ago, when rich ore deposits were found, that allowed the land to become a sudden hub for trade. The many cities that sprung up began to each take their own purpose, working in tandem with one another. The fine sands of the south providing for excellent glass, the ore deposits in the mountains and islands providing a near constant source of trade, the fertile lands easily able to feed the great many people who came to call the continents home. This prosperity continued until 5 generations ago. Many of the veins ran dry, farmlands began to yield lesser and lesser crops as the lands suffered from overfarming. People grew greedy and began to hoard all they could, and eventually unrest reached its way to the Durska line, who had always beforehand led the people of the nation. This culmination of systematic assassination then took over the Durska line. No one knows who truly was behind this, but once it occurred, the houses that had previously been unified under Durska's leadership fractured. There lies an unsteady peace between the various factions, some seeking unification and a return to the old ways, some believing their bloodline to be the rightful rulers, others believing the land will once again yield great riches to help restore the prominence of the land that it once was. To the south, there are rumours of unrest on the borders. To the east, there is famine. The land rests uneasy, as if calm, before awaiting what follows. But now, we focus not on the bigger picture, but on something far smaller, far more insignificant. A lone statue lies atop the northern wall of Figra, overlooking much of the town, its eyes fixated on a tavern, watching without really knowing why. Footsteps begin to approach, slow, metallic against stonework. They stop not far behind. A voice speaks up. The king needs your aid. He's speaking to you, Godak.
Godak, standing sentinel in his usual spot, at first doesn't seem to respond in any way. But after a few seconds, he slowly turns on his heel and replies, "Statement. Take me to him, then."
With that, the knight that had walked up to you turns and begins to walk away, keeping at a reasonable pace so that you can keep up. You begin to work your way through the castle walls, then make your way into the main areas. You pass many people on the way, many turn and stare at you in wonder. You're not something that people are really used to seeing. Describe yourself as you walk.
So, Godak is, I believe he said he was about a 6-foot warforged, with like copper armor. Like some warforgers have kind of like look human. Godak looks distinctly mechanical, quite like the token that I've selected for him. He just kind of looks like a stereotypical robot, kind of like two like orange blips for eyes. His mouth doesn't move when he speaks. Sound just sorts of come out. There's no kind of inflections on his face, which is why he describes his sentiment before speaking, since there isn't really any other way to tell.
Commoners and royalists alike stare at you as you walk. Many of them share words hushed between one another. You pick up occasionally the words of toy, or statue, or the great protector. But you pay it no heed. You're used to hearing strange tales of yourself because of the way you hold yourself on the wall. You continue to walk and you enter the main keep. You walk down a long, narrow hallway, the knight in front of you still leading the way, until you reach the main doors to the main chamber. A nod to the guards at the doors, and you are allowed entrance. As you enter into this main council chamber, directly in front of you sits the king. To his left is his main advisor. There are 2 guards in the room, and at all these points on the sides are going to say the line completely with people minor to major nobles for this particular land. Just would too much to put all the tokens down. And there is a handful of the higher nobles that sit behind the king up here. They were previously talking in hushed tones between the king and the council. Seeing you enter, the king gives you a brief nod, and the knight gestures for you to move to the side to where the lesser nobles are stood here.
Godak complies with the request.
You should be able to move your token now.
Okay. You said to about here?
Yes.
Okay.
As you stand still, everyone around you moves away slightly. No one's quite comfortable beside you. As you look at them briefly before fixating your eyesight back on the king, they all tend to shrink away at your sight. As soon as your eyesight leaves them, they immediately start to talk about you without addressing you. They seem to all refer to you in some manner of them relating to you being the king's toy, his favourite puppets. Do you have any form of reaction, or do you let it just simply continue?
It isn't within his current objectives, so he doesn't care.
The king, after speaking to his main counselor, stands up and walks forward several paces. Okay, I know we are all not particularly calm at this moment in time, but we'll get back to the matter at hand. Durza, please stand up. A small noble on the right-hand side walks forward, and he stands before the king there. Sire, I will be sending aid to the borders soon. I've just spoken with the council. We have 60 troops ready and waiting to go with you when you return to help to hold the southern border. I know that is not as much as you wished for, but is what we can spur. Durza briefly looks as if he will say something and then holds back. Then he nods. Thank you, sire. He returns to his seat over here. Now, I'm sure many of you are wondering why I have allowed this particular creature in here. I have a mission that I need to send several on, and I wanted to make it properly documented. He looks towards you, Gordak. Please stand forward.
Godak initially turns his head towards the king, looks at him for a few seconds, the rest of his body then rotates, and then approaches the designated position.
Thank you.
He just stands there, not saying anything.
There is some unrest in one of our villages. I need you and several others to head down there to help deal with it. There is... He fishes around in a pocket on his robes and pulls out a letter, briefly glances over it. There are strange creatures coming from a cave system. He then folds up the letter and holds it out to you. I would like you to deal with it, please.
Question. How far away is this?
It'll be approximately a 4 days ride.
Question. Who shall be accompanying me?
Do you take the letter, or do you just leave it? His hand holding it.
He doesn't take it himself. He's just asking the questions. He seems to be oblivious to the gesture.
At which point he'll pull back his arm and hold it by his side, still holding the letter. I have several companions as well, of course. Lucinda, you are sat behind the major nobles over here. Do you react to your name being called?
I'll stand up.
Okay, describe yourself as you stand.
Well, I hope I'm tall enough to see at all, since I'm a little on the short side. Also, not quite so young anymore, with dark hair and a bit more of a gypsy than a fighter look to myself.
Will you stand forward? He gestures towards beside Gordak.
I will saunter down and stand beside him.
You should be able to move your token. You did a fine job helping to You did a fine job helping to inspire some of our troops. I would like to see if you could put together a nice tale from this little escapade. Help to inspire them on the southern border a little bit. What do you say?
I say that sounds like a very interesting proposition.
He nods and smiles. He'll then hold up the letter, see if you'll take it. This should have some more details on what you'll be going towards.
I will take the letter.
Okay. Now, in case any of you get hurt, I have another. Adura, are you still here? You also were sat over on the right-hand side with some of the lesser nobles.
I will stand.
Okay, describe yourself as you stand.
Okay, Dareth Finnick is a 5'9", 22-year-old half-elf. He has fiery red hair and a big bushy beard. He typically wears a hood up to try and cover his elven ears. He likes to try and come off as human as much as he can.
Okay.
I guess
He
I'll-
gestures towards Gordak, again, beside him.
I'll walk down
Okay then.
and I'll bow my head.
He would nod his in appreciation. I've heard good tales of your abilities, so I would like you to put them to use with this. In case anyone gets hurt, I'm sure you will be an asset to them.
I'll cast an uncertain look at the big hulking thing next to.
Godak returns your gaze, and then he looks towards the king and kind of inclines his head as if he wants to ask a question.
The king will raise an eyebrow, but will then gesture with his hand to ask.
Question. This composition seems unconventional. Will this be sufficient for the task at hand?
It'll be mostly sufficient, I'm sure, but you do have one additional companion. Burnby? Yes. Come down here, Furby. I know you're at the back over there. Little halfling walks out from the area you'd all been seating in and goes over to the front. Yes, sire. Burnby, I would like you to accompany these people. You will be my messenger. Keep me informed of what happens. Understood? Yes, sir. He's a squat little halfling. He isn't dressed smartly at all. He stands out quite a bit in the room, to be honest. He's barefoot, fairly hairy. His clothes look like they would have been bought more or less at a flea market. But for some reason, the king smiles at him and seems quite fond of him. And then he looks back at you, Gordak. Would that suffice?
Godak looks to his left and right, looks back to the king, and then states, "Yes, I believe this is sufficient now. Who will be in command here?"
That is up for you all to decide. You can talk about it amongst yourselves. So long as the job gets done, it does not matter, frankly. Don't even need anyone in charge. As long as you don't have to make any tough decisions.
When
As
are
you
we
go.
when are we mandated to leave?
You'll leave as soon as possible.
Understood.
Are there any other questions? If anyone else would like to question my intentions? There's a little bit of chatter coming from some of the minor nobles at that comment. Do you all say silence?
I'll cast a look at some of these nobles. Do I perhaps hear what they're chatting about from here?
Roll a perception. It's mostly just minor noise. Some of them, you catch up comments about how rude it was to address the king that way, referring to Gordak. But otherwise, you don't pick up anything else.
I'll hide a smirk to myself about that.
Okay, now we do have some more matters at hand, but you four, you will be free to leave. These will not really concern you.
I will courtesy before turning towards the exit.
I'll nod and then turn towards Gordak. After you, big man.
Statement. Understood. Moving. Gordak proceeds to move forward.
Okay.
Humming under my breath. Nothing in particular. Just melody.
Okay then. Do you guys leave the room?
Yeah.
I'm no longer in that room.
Okay, you guys make your way outside. You open the doors and close them behind you. As you go to move, you notice that guards from before are not there anymore. In fact, you just looked up and down the corridor, it's completely empty.
Gordak, looking left and right, states, statement, inquisitive. There were guards here earlier, yet they are no longer. Where did they go?
Take a piss, perhaps. Can I see anything around? Any signs of a ruckus?
Roll me as perception. Now.
That's better.
Okay, you look around, and if you're looking down the corridor, you don't really see anything out of place until you get to that door. You see the carpet that, actually on the map that you can see, but you can see carpet that seems to be scuffed and damaged. When you previously walked down, it wasn't like that. That was barely 10 minutes before.
Might have something over here. Which direction did you say it was, sorry? I was looking at chat.
Okay, it is over here, the right-hand side, by the doorway.
Okay. I'll walk over. Put my ear to this door.
When you put your ear to that door, you don't hear anything inside of it. And it's the next door further along that you see the scruff carpet, by the way.
Yeah, okay, I'll go to this next door. Press my ear to it.
Roll me a perception. Again. 13. You don't really hear anything in particular from down there, other than, say, a couple of thumps from far away.
Did they sound normal, for lack of a better word?
You would probably guess they sound like similar to footsteps. Odd, heavy ones, maybe.
I'll turn to the others who are, I'm assuming, just standing there staring at me.
Gordak's actually just staring at the door right now. To leave, I mean.
Actually, no. Wanting to chat up the halfling.
Go ahead.
So, big guy here is some muscle. That guy's a healer. What do you bring to the table?
Oh, I'm quite helpful. I mean, you need a hand with something, I'll give you a hand. I'm good at hiding as well.
And that's supposed to help us. How?
Well, if you need me to hide in a box and jump out and throw things at people.
So you're a clown.
Godak,
Not very nice.
Godak chimes in, looks down, sort of at the halfling, looks over to Lucinda, looks back to the halfling, and just goes, statements. I agree with the bard's assessment. You do not appear to have much tactical value.
There's no need to be mean.
Thank you, big
Statement.
guy.
I do not mean this out of malice. I am simply being honest.
Guy just raises an eyebrow and goes, okay then.
Question. Are we going
What?
then?
Well, it depends what that big guy over there wants.
Statement. I do not see how that is of relevance. We have a mission and we shall carry it out. Anything else is irrelevant.
Oh, this is going to be great.
Well, maybe time we read the instructions for our mission.
The little halfling's going to walk on down towards where Dareth is.
Looks like we need to follow those two. We should at least make it out of the castle as a group, shouldn't we, big guy?
Rudolph looks over to the group and just says, It is not our directive, but there is merit in what you say. Lead on.
As the halfling walks over, he'll look at you with your ear against the door. So, what are you doing?
About to offer room service. What the fuck does it look like I'm doing?
Statement. How does one service a room? I do not understand.
Can I try the... I'm going to ignore him. Can I try the doorknob? Slowly, just to see if it's unlocked.
As you try the doorknob, it is unlocked. Do you open the door to peek down the corridor, or...?
Yeah, I'll open it very slowly. If there's a creak, I'll stop.
I'd say there's no creaks. You're in the main kind of keep for this place. It's quite well maintained. What you see in front of you is a large, narrow corridor with a doorway at the left further up. Right here are two guards piled against a wall, lying down on the floor.
Oh, fuck me. We got injured in here. I'll rush in to see if they're okay.
Was that an offer? He's already gone.
Roll medicine check.
Sorry, you took me off guard there, Pema.
That's something I do, that kind of line. Okay, 15. One of them has a knife wound to the throat. He's well and gone. The other one seems to have been hit with something blunt. He's out for the count, but he's still alive.
Is he stable?
Yes.
I'll close the eyes of the dead one and just offer a quick prayer.
What is it in? Oh, shit.
I'll put a finger to my lips.
He put both of his hands over his mouth.
Killing the guards in his own castle. That's bold. You big man, what do you know of this?
Godak looks over, so Godak just sees a dead body like everyone else?
Yep.
Godak looks at the body and just says, It appears to be a dead humanoid. He says nothing further.
I'll just stare at him mouth agape for a second. You, what do you know of this? Point to Lucinda. Do you know anything?
Can't say I've met them before. At least I don't remember.
I'm not asking about them. Who would sneak into the castle and assassinate guards? I'm not asking for their fucking
Anyone?
backstories.
Oh, come on. You never been around royals before?
Statement. Startled realization. This could present a threat to the king. I shall inform him of the incident.
Good thinking. I'm gonna go off down the corridor.
It's
Okay.
first opportunity. I don't know if you want to do anything else. So Gordak will just burst through the doors if they're closed.
Yep, you
Well-
burst straight in through the doors. You can see the king is talking with several other members of the royals, basically, that were close to minor lords. And they all stop and everyone stirs to look at you, Gordak, as you enter in.
Statement.
What is the meaning of this?
Statement. Assertive. There is currently a dead humanoid in the right corridor. I took it upon myself to inform you. This may be a threat to your life.
What? He looks towards one of his guards at the side, and he starts to run down towards the door. Ooh, I'm on the wrong layer. Now, as that's happening, Derek, what are you going to do when you go down the corridor?
I want to check this door.
Okie dokie. How are you checking it?
I'll put a hand on the doorknob, but not turn it, and I'll just put my ear to the door. And I'll,
Roll me a perception. I'll give you advantage given you're alerted.
ooh.
Didn't need it. Okay. You can hear some muffled talking on the other side of the doorway, and then you can actually hear Gordak as he bursts into the main room. And then you hear someone say, "Fuck. Right, now." And then you hear a door burst open. Do you react in any way?
I will draw out my crossbow in one hand and fling the door open.
Okay then. It's going to be a second whilst I reveal this. As you burst the door open, you see the back of two people, and another one has just ran through the doorway. They seem to be dressed as guards, but the garb is... It seems to be a slightly different design than the ones that you've seen on the guards around the main keep.
Doom, as these guys enter the room, can Gordak do a perception check to see whether these guys have hostile intentions, given what he just saw?
Well, you could do, but the one that's burst into the room anyway immediately draws a dagger and throws it straight at the king.
I'm going to...
It's a roll perception check if he wants.
I was just
How's that for hostile?
well, I mean, you did say that, but I think I would want Gordak to try and run to intercept the path of the dagger, if that's possible. I'm guessing that's going to be some sort of acrobatics or athletics check.
Hmm.
Because I would imagine that he's already on guard.
Yeah, that would be fair to say. So I'm going to say... I don't have the sheet up. Athletics and athletics is... I'm gonna say athletics.
Okay.
Covers difficult situations you encounter, climbing, jumping, swimming.
Mhm.
Having a sudden reaction, I could count that as that kind of thing.
So, athletics?
Give me an athletics check.
Ooh,
Okay, you start to
not
move
good.
forward. I'm going to say you get 10 feet, and then you see the dagger hit straight in the king's shoulder and stick there.
Okay. Gordak is going to stand in front of the king to prevent further
Yeah,
attack.
10 feet.
Oh, wait, did I not move? How do I... Was I there, sorry?
You're 2 back.
2 back, so here? Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
So, sorry. I kind of thought that...
you can nearly get there, but...
Yeah, so he's there. But not quite enough to intercept.
You.
Would Godak be close enough to try and perform a medicine check on the king?
I'll say at this moment in time,
Probably
things are going to be
not.
moving a bit too quickly.
Okay.
So, we'll jump back to... I'll see if Lucinda wants to react in any way. Is there anything that's gone on? You won't know half of what's gone on, but...
Hearing commotion from two sides, but going towards where the more people are, so I'll start moving towards the main door to the throne room. Or the
I'd say you'll be able to
hall.
move your 30 foot then. See. So there. We go. Luki, and I'm going to have Fernie just simply stay there. Unsure what to do. Come back around to Dareth. So you've seen one burst out and you've got two people with their back towards you. Do you react in any way?
Can I do a quick spot to see if I would recognize them as enemies? Do they have any bloody weapons that could perhaps match the guards?
Roll investigation.
Boy, oh boy.
You have no idea.
God, these are not good starting goals.
Nope. And with that, we're going to roll initiative.
No.
Really not good. I mean, that's normal for me.
Yes, it is more or less.
I did.
Roll a flat 20 for... Wow.
While we were starting up, I did
Wow.
decide on taking a feat for 4th level cleric, by the way. Just to let you know.
Fair enough.
I took alert.
Yep, sounds good.
Yeah, that sounds pretty decent. Especially given we're about to go into combat.
So, goes Lucinda. E, G. Okie dokie. Just to save time, I'm going to have all of these guys move on the same turn order. They're acting first then, apparently. Wow, gone from a nat 1 to a nat 20, just like that.
It happens.
It does, apparently. So, these guys are all going to act. The first one that threw the dagger at the king is going to continue running forward. And then he's going to draw another dagger. And he's going to try and attack the king again.
Give me a second.
Look to see if you have any options.
Yeah, I was actually just checking to see if I've got any options. No, I do actually. Yeah, I'm just reading. Yeah, unfortunately, I do not have anything to intercept that.
Shame.
I don't think. Oh, I had something. I could have sworn I selected.
Are you thinking about your hexblade?
No. I was thinking I had something like sensor. No, I'm looking down my features and traits. I see nothing here. Apologies. Go ahead.
Okay. He's going to make a weapon attack against the king. That ain't going to hit, surprisingly. But the king, alerted for the first stab, will step back suddenly, and he'll actually pull the knife out whilst he does so. So that's going to be the next one's going to move along. One of them's going to go towards the councillor, and the other one's going to simply run to there and throw a knife at the king. So, first one throws, well, the second one will throw the knife at the king. I'll do that out of the way first. That will definitely hit. And that will be a d6 plus... Ooh. That's supposed to be a d4, sorry. I re-roll that. That's 5. Okay, so the second knife goes straight past his partner and hits the king pretty much right in the chest, and he puts him down to one knee. Now the attack against the other councillor. Taken by surprise, he's going to have advantage on this particular attack. Oh, no. 20 will definitely hit the councillor. 4 damage. Gurkus was slashed straight across his chest, cutting open a nasty-looking wound, and then that's going to go to Lucinda.
I would start by moving forward the 30 feet. That should put me at the door.
Okie dokie. I'll say you'll be able to open. Well, the door will still kind of be open when Godak slammed through.
And at this point, I should be able to see the situation.
Yes, you can see.
And I should see who the attackers are.
Yes, you see the king currently in the middle of fighting one person in particular. Another one has a knife drawn at one of the councillors. And you see the one on the far right currently empty-handed. And you see a lot of the minor nobles cowering towards the sides as they've tried to suddenly get away from the sudden chaos in the room.
In that case, I would like to take my crossbow and shoot. Do I have a line on this guy?
So you still be able to shoot around the guard.
Would I be able to do that, or is he in my way?
I'd say you'd be able to.
Or do I have a line on that one? Either one.
Yeah, you're not shooting through the center room, so you'll have line of sight.
Okay.
Does not hit, sadly. But you know what? I will actually give you advantage. Give you just run into the room. I consider that's a surprise. Right, there we go.
And it has a range of 80 feet, so...
Yeah, you'd be no worries with that. I see your bolt flies forward and it hits him straight in the shoulder. And he suddenly takes a step back and his hand goes to the bolt to try and pull it out, but he can't. He looks quite annoyed and quite hurt by that. And his eyes fix on you for 1 second. Then they quickly dart back to the king, then back towards you. Anything else?
If I still have my bonus, which I think I do, I would like to inspire Godak.
Okay. How do you inspire him?
You got this, big guy. Sorry.
Okie dokie. At the end of your turn. It sounds as yes.
Yes, I'm ending my turn. I'm sorry. I forgot to press. And it's 1d8, by the way. Godak.
It's 1d8. Okay, I'll make a note. Thank you.
1d8 inspiration die.
Okay,
for 10 minutes.
Okay, well, I'll make a note. Thank you very much.
Okie dokie, Durf, it's your turn.
Alright. I can hear the commotion coming from this big room, yes?
Yes, you are now putting 2 and 2 together.
Alright.
And you're still liberating yourself and acting.
Oh, shoot first, ask questions later, Darth, you idiot. I'm gonna use my bonus action to cast Spiritual Weapon. Check the range on that. Oh, 60 feet. Can I put that just in the doorway?
You can do, because the doorway will have been swung open as they run through, so you can see through it from there.
Okay, I'll cast my Spiritual Weapon into there. For flavour, I guess it'll be like a gnarled quarterstaff wrapped in like mistletoe.
Sounds good.
And then I will move up to the doorway. And sneak attack on the guy attacking the king.
Given you didn't make yourself known behind him, I will give you that as well, yeah. Because I'll give you advantage for that.
Right. So I'll attack with my... I'm shooting with crossbow. And where is that?
Oh, you shoot some of your crossbow?
Yes.
Oh, the one attacking the king. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah.
I was the one next to you for a second then.
Because he's within 5 feet of an enemy. Yeah.
Yes, of course.
So... Well, I guess that's a miss. Oh, did you say...
I said I'll let you have advantage.
Oh, thanks.
You went through.
Thanks.
That will hit.
Hey. There's damage, and I'm not.
I
That's
did
an
sneak
extra
attack
D6.
damage.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's 9 damage. So your bolt
Plus
flies.
2.
It's already added it on.
Oh shit! It did. Sorry.
Yeah. So your bolt flies forward and it hits straight in the back of the shoulder on the one facing the king, and he suddenly stumbles forward a little bit, surprised by the attack. And use your spiritual weapon.
Can it be used on the turn I cast it?
Yes.
Then I will do so. I'll go for the one. Where did I put? Did I put it in that square?
Draw a square somewhere. You would have had line of sight all the way towards him.
I'll have it attack that guy then. That's attacking the councillor.
Okie dokie. Roll the taco. "12 does hit.
And
Excellent.
it would
4
roll the damage.
Yes.
Sorry,
So
I'm
the
using
quarterstaff
a lot of stuff I'm not used to. Sorry.
Quarterstaff appears and it suddenly swings down, hits him on the side of the head. It distracts him briefly for a second, but he focuses on the councillor still. And that's going to be the end of your turn.
It is.
Okay then. Suddenly hearing a lot of noise, Bernie is going to start to make his way back. He's not going to get very far, so he's going to use a dash action to get as close as he can. And then he's going to end his turn. So now, the guards are going to act now. So they'll suddenly be taken by surprise. Now they are going to charge over. They're both going to go straight towards the king's side.
Sorry, did Goddard act?
Actually, good point.
No,
Got
I
it.
haven't had my turn yet. I've just assumed
bad.
that I rolled so low in the initiative that I was going last.
I know, actually, it should be... never mind. Gardak, it's your turn.
Yeah, but they are top of the turn order, so...
I wasn't looking at that, so I was... To be honest, I was trying to... I actually have a question, unfortunately, Doom.
Go ahead.
Do you know bait and switch? Do you know
Yes.
if that's a free action or not? Because I can't find a clear answer whether it's an action, bonus action, or what.
I think it's specifically a free action, actually, that you can just do.
Just-
if it doesn't specify,
It
then
just
it's
says
not
when
gonna
you're
take up any
within...
turn.
Yeah, just when you're within 5 creature on your turn, you can expend a superiority die and switch place of the creature. But it doesn't say like under maneuvers it just says bait and switch, no action, so I'm not sure.
If there's no action, then it's free action.
Okay, in that case, Gordak is going to try and do bait and switch with the king. He's just going to say to the king, statement, switch places with me. It will increase your life expectancy. Perhaps. Is the king
He
willing?
can't really speak. He's currently got a dagger in him. He just kind of looks up at you. Fine, yes!
Okay,
And he'll suddenly move to the side.
so we switch places.
Yep.
And then I roll a superiority die. So he gains that much AC. Oh, okay, you did turn me
Maybe
around
not
a little
that
bit.
much. Oh, yes, I did. Are you sure I gained that much?
It's 48. Oh, right. I think it's supposed to be 1d8, isn't it?
Yes.
Why does it say... Okay, sorry. I was just thinking, wow, that's a lot.
I thought, oh wow, back roll. Oh no, wait, it wasn't.
Sorry, Doom. I'm still getting used to this class. Well, actually, yeah.
Okay.
So he gains
Okay,
8
then.
AC until my
Okay.
next turn.
Sounds good.
Okay, Gordak is just going... Oh, for God's sake. Just slightly off center now. Ah! Never mind, I can't. I'm fine. He's going to just menacingly tilt towards this guy then. And Gordak is going to make an attack with... Let me switch over to this side. With his glaive. And he's using it two-handed, just to specify. I think it's...
Swing away.
Okay, 19 hit.
19 does indeed hit.
Okay, is this actually going to roll damage, or is it going to be awkward? It looks like it might be being awkward with me.
Let's do a custom roll for the damage then.
Yeah, I'll just roll for damage now. Ooh, 20, a crit. Wait, what? Did it just... Wait, what
You rolled
just
an
happened?
extra attack.
It looked... Oh, right. Let me just hit that. There we go, 10 damage.
There we go. Nice. Damn.
So he does have an extra attack because he is level 5.
Well, I would say that was that crit then, in that case.
So he's going to get double damage dice in that case.
Yep.
So first one is a
You kill
13.
him.
Oh, okay.
Yep, you just outright... how do you kill him, actually?
Godak literally just stares the guy down, just kind of mutters, statement. You will die. Painfully. And then he just kind of like rends him, sort of like across the right side and then the left, like in an axe.
Okay, and he collapses, trying to swing a dagger at the king, but completely failing and just dying.
And then Godak just looks to the other two and comments, "You are next."
Use any movements.
He is going to use some of his movement. He's going to try and sort of like position himself so he's kind of like in an intercept position, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of
Sounds
expecting him to move forward, so yeah, that's where Godak will end his turn.
Okay then. So now it would have been Bernie's turn, so he did his dash. Now it's the guard's turn. Seeing you suddenly cut that guy down, they are both going to suddenly get a lot of courage back, and they're going to charge at one of these guys each. They're both going to swing in with short swords. D20 plus 3. So one of them hits. They both hit, surprisingly. That's for the top one. That's for the right one. Okay, so they both swing into their relative opponents, slashing across their chest or shoulder. They're both starting to look a bit worn, and they're starting to realise that they might have bit off more than they could chew. Now it'll be the councillor's turn. Quite pissed off again, attacked by the one in front of him, he's going to raise up a hand, and he's going to... We see fire suddenly leap from his hand straight into the face of the one in front of him. Yeah, it's going to hit. Fire leaps out, hitting him straight in the face, making him stagger back for a second, and put the flames out as to try and catch on his leather armor that he's wearing. And that's going to be the end of the councillor's turn. And now it's going to go back to the top of the turn order to the assassins. The one that the councillor just attacked is going to suddenly look around and see that he is very surrounded. He looks quickly to the other one, and they both nod. They take an item out of their pockets and they throw it down at the floor. And suddenly a smoke starts to billow out from beneath both of them, obscuring the area immediately around each of them. I still draw objects here, yes I can. It's going to be about a 5-foot circle around each of them is now obscured by smoke. And with that, they're both going to attempt to disengage. Actually, no, we're just simply to move away, actually.
You're kind of
So
basically giving them disengage via the smoke, I'm guessing.
Yes, I am. Basically, yes. One of them moves out here towards where the king's previously been sitting. Draws a knife, and he's going to throw it straight at the king again.
Remember, the king has a +8 to AC until my next turn.
That will sadly hit, though.
Ah, that was quite a high roll.
Yeah, it was.
God, I tried.
This knife flies forward and hits it with the butt of the knife instead of the blade, and the king suddenly goes to the floor, his nose bloody, and he actually looks pretty bad at the moment. The other one is going to run out of the smoke here. He's going to go around the other side of the guard, and he's also going to take in his last knife. He's going to throw it at the king. That does not hit. So it just flails straight by, the smoke going in his eyes, he was running out of it. And with that, they're both going to end their turns. So that goes back to the top of the turn order to Lucinda.
Since it kind of we're gonna try to shoot the second guy again, but I will also move just inside the room so the door is clear. It should have been like 5 foot, so easy with my movement. Again, shooting at the assassin on the right side.
Okie dokie. That hits. Four damage. Your bolt flies forward and it pierces straight through his hand. He suddenly pulls his hand back and he glares at you. And he snarls his teeth. And anything else?
And end my turn.
Cookies. Now that is Derek.
Alright, how...
Immediately in front of you, you can just see smoke. Seems to be a thick smoke that's hanging heavy in the air.
Alright. I'm gonna, I guess, burst through this way.
Okie dokie. Yeah, it doesn't have anything you can really use, to be honest. So, yep. You're through the smoke.
As I moved up, could I like drop my quickly just drop my crossbow and pull out daggers?
Yeah, that would have been fine. It would have been obscured for anyone else as well, so they wouldn't be able to do anything.
I'll come up and get up to this guy and stabby stab.
Okie dokie.
He's busy looking at me.
That is true, actually, as well.
I guess that's for my 2.
Okay, so they both would have hit anyway. Roll your damage. That would have been on your first one, given he's next to an enemy.
And then remind me what I do for the second one. Is it just a flat D4?
A flat D4. Yeah.
There you go.
Okay, your daggers catch him by surprise, and you plunge them both into his back, as his attention's elsewhere, and you hurt him a lot. As you pull both the daggers out, you see him rip his shoulder muscles apart. End your turn.
My spiritual weapon.
You've already used your bonus action.
Oh, yeah, you're right, I did, yeah. Alright, okay. That's my turn then.
Okie dokie. That's now going to be in the right one this time. Gorak.
Got it. Okay. Gorak is going to use the first 5 feet of his movement to go back to the king. Will once again say to the king, statement. Although last time was not as successful as hoped, switching places again with me will probably ensure greater success for your survival. Do you consent?
He's just panicked looking around. He's hurt. He's barely even paying attention to you. Just, whatever. Keep me safe.
Godak switches places. And once again, we'll roll a d8. King will gain 7 AC until Gordak's next turn.
Okay.
And you can use another 10 movement to go up to this guy here. So, Gordak is just going to attack with the glaive again. for 12. Assuming that
Does
doesn't
hit.
hit. Oh, it does hit.
It does.
Okay.
Beats it.
So I'm just going to roll the damage from here for 11. Godak will then do a second
finish him?
attack. Oh, really?
Yep.
I
You're a
think,
machine.
literally,
Huh?
I think Godak will just kind of like look to the guy just before he slashes him and just goes, "Statement. I understand that you do not want to divulge details of your exploits. I will kill you quickly then." And then he proceeds to slash him in the same fashion as the last guy.
He attempts to respond, but as the first slash goes down, it instantly cuts off anything he was going to say. And he's gone. Do you end your turn?
Yeah, Godak just turns to the last one, and I don't think he's looking at him, but Godak's looking at this guy. He's next, if someone doesn't get to him before he does. And yes, he ends his turn.
Okay then. Bernie, still outside, is going to attempt to get into the actual room.
This feels like my rogue in Crazy's campaign that just spent about a round going on two sides of a fence.
Yeah. Okay, so he runs in, he sees a mess at the moment, he sees some dead bodies, he sees the king hurt, he sees smoke billowing over in this corner, he doesn't know what's going on with that. He draws his short sword, and then he's going to use a dash action to just get by the king and stand between the last guy and him, and he's just going to kind of stand over his sword, trembling a little bit. Get back! Get back! That's the end of his turn. So now it's going to be the guards' turns. They are both completely covered in smoke, and they are panicking. They're just going to flail the weapons around at nothing. So now it's the last assassin's turn. He's going to look around quickly. He's got someone right behind him. He's bleeding badly from his shoulder wounds. He looks towards the king. He sees the halfling in front of him, trying to block him. He knows he's not getting out of this alive. He quickly reaches into his leather armor and pulls out a very small kind of letter open a knife. And he plunges it into his neck. And he kills himself and collapses to the ground. And combat's over.
Godak will immediately walk over to the king and just say to the guards, "Statement. Concern. The king is injured. He requires medical attention immediately. I cannot provide this."
Bernie will be attempting to pull out one of the last dagger that was thrown at the king. I think I said there was one stuck in his shoulder.
I think you may have, yeah.
Yep. So he's pulling that out at the moment, and there's a bit of blood seeping into his clothing. Anyone reacting anyway, or just simply let it go on?
I'm not sure if there's anything that Godak can do. Could he do medicine to see if he can try and stymie the bleeding in any way? I'm not quite sure if he would need something in addition.
Yeah, anything on him?
Let me just double check to see if he's got anything at all. Not really. Unfortunately. I suppose rope, I don't think that's going to work.
Not a shoulder wound, no.
No.
Okay. So Fernie takes out the dagger, and the guards pick him up. The councillor goes with him. A lot of the lesser nobles have made their way out of the room now as the fighting suddenly stopped. And they're just trying to get away. Until the room is simply left with one of the guards. I'd say that the councillor stuck behind. He'll look over the scene briefly, and then look towards all you four. God. Thank you for the assistance then. That might have been a bit of a different matter if you hadn't been here. I'm sure the sire will be okay. We have some excellent clerics on hand to help heal his wounds.
Question.
He looks over towards Gareth. Dareth, sorry, not Gareth. How did you know to come from where they came from? What happened exactly?
Found a couple of dead guards in the corridor. Use my common sense. Can I take a quick look over the dead assassins? Are they all dead, or is there any
They're
that
dead.
have
The last one
quite-
killed himself.
Damn it.
Get to have done non-lethal damage otherwise.
I was hoping to potentially like quickly spare the dying. Like, no, you're not dying on my watch.
I would like to move up also and see if I recognize anything about their dress. Like, they were in some form of uniform, I believe you said.
Roll investigation. Okay, 17. You're looking over them. Their armor seems to be older than what Usengard's wearing, as if it's just outdated, something that's been sold off and they've used to potentially get in. As you're looking over their armor, you see something underneath the leather chest armor. As you pluck it out, it seems to be a crest of some kind. I'll just get a name for you. You recognize this to be a crest of Burnley. It is the land to the south that has currently got a lot of tension with.
I'm sorry, DM, could you please repeat the name?
Burnley.
Bearingly?
I'll write it down.
Thank you, sorry. Anything else I might recall about this? Like, does it look like a crest from? Is it of the country, like of the main
It's
house
of
the country,
the main
or
house
is
of
it
the country.
some minor house?
I wouldn't say it's necessarily a country because all the current houses share the same country. Essentially, it's basically that land belongs to that house. If you follow my meaning.
Yeah, but it's a main house, not something
Yes.
minor, some minor in that. Anything I can recall about this place?
You know generally from your travels and tales that you've heard, and from the fact that you have been helping to inspire troops briefly, that there is civil unrest between the two different lands, the two different houses, effectively. They are quite militaristic and they own a fair amount of land to the south. And there have been a lot of minor skirmishes as they've tried to make claim on various villages along the borderline. Anything else? From anyone else?
Godak wants to ask the councillor a question if no one wants to do anything else first.
Yes.
Question.
Bit.
Would it be wise to head out on our directive, considering the king is hurt? Another attack may be imminent.
Yes. He looks around briefly. This is not the first time this has happened. It won't be the last. If we stopped every single time something went wrong or an assassination attempt happened, we would never get anything done, frankly.
Statement. Understood. Should we head out to our mission directive straight away?
Yes, I believe I've got all I'm going to get from you all. He nods to the guard. Go and check on the bodies that he mentioned in corridor, was it? And the guard nods and runs through where Dareth came through.
Looks like these were from the south. These were from this house, and I point the crest out to him.
As soon as
To
Godak...
the councillor. Oh, sorry. Yeah, just pointing the crest out to the counselor. Like, hey, looks like these were from this house.
Godak will just start moving out of the room as soon as he's finished asking the question and just goes to wait by the front door.
Can I walk up to the counselor? Are you
Yep.
hurt, my lord?
I'll be fine. It's nothing I can't just brush off. You don't get to be in a position like this without having to deal with a knife wound every now and then.
Word of advice. Check your guards better. Vet them. And I'll leave.
He'll have just a raised eyebrow at that as you're going, and the little guy will have gone with the king initially, but he'll be coming back now, and he'll meet you guys in the corridor. Oh, he's kind of wiping blood off his hands before he took out the dagger. The king should be okay. It's just a little knife wound. I don't believe there's any poison this time. Shall we be going?
Statement. Yes, that is our mission.
Excellent. I know where we can get a good carriage for a fine price from. Come on, let's get going then. And with that, he starts to make his way down the hallway. Past the door we've previously been, he just kind of shuts the door where the two guards are so he doesn't have to look at them, and keeps walking.
You know, before getting the carriage, maybe we should look at these instructions to see where we are really going. Or do you already know, little guy?
Oh, you know, you might have a point there, actually. He comes over and waits expectantly. So, go ahead.
In that case, getting out the ladder. Alright, are we in the middle of the hall, or can we stand a little on the side?
You can say what you want.
Yeah, in that case, standing a little on the side of the hall so people can still pass. And getting out the ladder.
Okay, would you like me to recount the letter? Because it is the blurb that you guys had, but of course people watching won't know it.
If you want, I can read it.
Go for it.
Go ahead.
I, Lord Perrin Galhill, humbly request the aid of you and your knights. There have been a great many incidents of late within my county. Beasts have begun to prowl the normally quiet forest to the north of the village of Crumpton, of which I preside over. There is something very strange about these beasts. Many of them are completely unknown to these lands. I have considered the help of the local adventurers guild, as well as gathered together a small militia of which I put my hat on the line.
Mistake, sorry.
Yeah, put my head on the line. It's not meant as any form of. Huh? I'm sorry. Uprising. These. Sorry, I lost my place. These creatures simply call for such extreme measures to hold back. I have lost some 70 or so people to the creatures so far, including 20 adventurers who took up the contract to hunt the creatures. We have managed to track their source to an old cave system in the hills, and have set up a camp surrounding its entrance. Collapsing the tunnel's entrance has not stopped the creatures, who simply dug out. Every party to venture in has been slain or pushed back. Most of the bodies have been recovered, but many have yet to be obtained. I'm losing men quickly. Every creature that tries to leave, taking its toll in blood. My men grow fearful, and some have begun to abandon their posts. Please send help before we are no longer able to hold this back. There's something wrong about all of this. There seems to be no rhyme or reason to the creatures we see, and sometimes, in the dead of night, we can hear something from within the caves. It faintly sounds like song, praise, precise, softly echoing in the still air. It's the sound we've all learned to dread. It means something new approaches. As I sit here writing this, I can hear it again, so quiet and soft. I think I recognize the sound, a song from my mother used to sing to me. I must attend the gate, bearing the cave's entrance. My messenger should be able to answer any questions you have to what has been coming from the caves. Please send help with the utmost haste. I will be in your debt. With the greatest regards, Lord Perry and Gunhill.
Oh, it's going to be a monster hunt. I wasn't told that part.
It's a long letter to be writing in an
Afraid, little
emergency.
guy?
Question, Halfling. What were you told?
I was just told to accompany you and simply give you aid. I wasn't really told details.
Statement. Realization. Your role makes more sense now.
Yeah, would seem. Well, we should be going. Let's get a carriage, some feed, and get up anything you guys need, and let's get this done with.
Think this messenger is still around? So we can ask a little bit more about what kind of creatures there are?
I'm not too sure the king will be in a good position to answer that at the moment. Maybe assume not. Maybe assume he just forgot to give us the details. If he asked.
In that case, maybe let's find a tavern on the way.
Yeah, I think I need a drink. And with that, Fernie
Not
starts
what I
walking
was
down the
planning
hallway.
on, but yeah. I guess you need to drink your bravery.
Okay. And with that, we'll end the session though.
Okay.
So, introductory session over with. Yay!
Hey.
Yay, we survived.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's always a good start. I think introductions can go a lot worse than that, to be honest. But
On the upside, the king's still alive. He could have died.
Yeah. You think you can sneak a king's assassination past us? We're stopping that shit.
I mean, I wasn't a prisoner, so that isn't entirely a Bethesda intro.
So, what do you guys think? Okay, yeah, you know, anything I could have done better?
You kind of achieved the purpose. I mean, you introduced the setting, you gave us a reason for being there. Our introductions weren't too drawn out, and we had a little bit of combat to just kind of get used to our new respective classes, because I think we're all playing classes that we've not done so before here.
Yeah, absolutely. I've not touched cleric or rogue before.
Yeah, I mean,
to be honest, I didn't actually really get to play Fernie in combat. He's just I probably get it being a theme. I have a feeling.
Maybe.
A rascal little boy.
No, but yeah, in summary, I mean, I thought.
Question.
So good.
Does he even have 30 feet of movement?
He does, yeah. I just gave him a default 30, just for ease sake.
Because I thought some of the smaller races have shorter movement.
Yeah, some of them had 25, but I thought, sod it. He's not going to be that useful
I
anyway,
mean, look at his stats. It's really not.
He only has one positive.
Wow. I mean, to be fair, psychics aren't really meant to be in any way useful, but yeah, I mean, I think all things considered, it went well. So, when are we due to have our next session? I assume it's going to be same time next week, or?
Let me just have a quick little peek at my roster actually to see what I'm working next week. Yes, it is likely going to be Tuesday again next week, if you guys are good for that.
I'll personally be okay for that.
Yes.
Yep, I am I will be working it.
Yeah,
So
so
I'll have to wrap up
over a
quicker.
bit earlier.
Yeah,
Will?
so we'll probably be looking at an hour and a half session as opposed to 2 hours. I think we haven't really been going exactly 2 hours because I think we spent quite a lot of time doing the roles. But yeah, anyway. Yep, so anything else from you doing before we end off?
No, I'd say I'm good to end that.
Okay, well, in that case, guys, thank you very much for watching for anyone who's still here, and we shall speak to you next time.
Bye-bye.